Fucking bust some chest. Hey, guess what we're hitting today?
Chest.
We're gonna fucking hit some chest. You know, Gage, some guys like to make sweet love to their weights. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna Angry-Phuck some iron.
Oh yeah, it's Captain Canada, and I said Angry-Phuck iron.
You know what time it is, bitches. Alright, we're here at Champion Fritz. Yeah, you know what time it is, bitches. We're at the fucking club. Alright, it's the weekend. Yeah, my son's fucking taller than me. And we're going to fucking bust some fucking chest out, bitches.
Okay, at this point, me and Gage are at the gym, and we're going to hit some chest. These are warm-up sets right here, and it's been about 5 years since I did any bench press. Bench press has never been my strong point. It's kind of a genetic weak point for me and my sons. It's weird because my dad was a bench presser guy. I was never a bench presser guy. I can do good on the Smith press, and you notice my son will grab a kind of close grip because triceps are one of our strong points in our family. So if we go with the close grip, you know, we can do better on bench press. But yeah, so that explains a little bit that when it comes to bench press, as soon as we stop doing it, we lose a lot of strength in bench press. This is my second set, and just 2 plates on one side. And it's been, 5 years, but hey, not making excuses. I've got a long way to go. When it comes to dumbbell presses or any kind of other chest exercise, I do fine. Just for some reason, not so much with the bench press. Okay, for this next set, this is probably Gage's max out. By the way, he just turned 16. And he gets to train with me like every other weekend because he lives with his mother. I am divorced. And it's kind of like our bonding time as we hit the gym on the weekends together. So here's me, and I've got 245s and a 25 on each side here. So I guess that's 275. I didn't realize it was actually that much with the 45-pound bar. So it's not as bad as I thought it would be, because I do hit some good dumbbell presses later. Of course, Gage is listening to his music while he's training, and that's actually a pretty good method of training. I do that when I'm not with my boys or with a training partner. I've always got the music going myself. He actually just completed his test for the Air Force, and he got a pretty good score, just like his older brother, who's already in the Air Force. So after high school, he'll be doing that. I can't even say how to say it. It's like ASVAB test or whatever. But yeah, he was training with the football team. He was on the football team for his high school for 2 years. But as soon as he started training with me, he said that was actually really useless because they didn't train for hypertrophy at all. And he didn't feel like he learned anything the 2 years he was training with them compared to 1 week of training with me, which is kind of cool, makes me feel good. I just wish that I could get him with me in the gym more, you know. I only have him on the other weekends. So we're already into our third set at least, and getting a good feeling, you know, for not doing bench press very much. I will say I prefer the Smith press, but you know, bench press is good because it gives you the balance thing, but I feel like I get that from my dumbbell presses. Here you can notice that he's a southpaw. I was actually a southpaw at birth, and because of being born in Canada and going to a separate school system back in the day, they wanted me to be right-handed, so I became right-handed. But yeah, his mom's also left-handed too, so a lot of that action going on. And I think I'm correct in saying that I think this is going to be our last set on the bench press. I hope so. I think it is. But either way, I didn't want to go full bore on the bench press, being that it was our first time back. You see my form's not too great here. And him especially, he hasn't bench pressed since he was on the football team. So that's like a year ago. And there you go with the southpaw again. But I think we're done with the bench presses. Yep, here we go. We're getting into some dumbbell presses with a very slight incline. And I've got the 75s to start off with. And on another note, I went kind of crazy the last couple weeks on my diet with my bulk and my gummy worms and my gummy bears. Kind of like an alcoholic running into a liquor store with junk food, and got pretty fat. So this weekend I kind of went back to some cleaner food, and I'm going to try and just maintain and not get any fatter. As you can see, he's doing really deep presses here, really stretching it out, almost fly style, so which is fine because he's getting a really good stretch on his pecs. Here I move up to, let's see, what am I at, 80s here, and feeling pretty good. I think next week I'm definitely going to move up in weight, both on the bench press and on the dumbbell press, because I was definitely feeling good for this workout. But yeah, I definitely have a Buddha gut going on, and that ain't no salad gut this time. It's actual big stomach-itis, I would call it. So yeah. In here, me and Gage are just kind of filming each other on the fly. And this is his first time filming me, and so far it looks pretty good. I'm trying to move around a little bit too. People are starting to get used to me filming. All right, if you have a weak constitution, you may not want to look at this. These are 85s. And let's just say if these irons were hookers, they'd be from 8 Mile, not from Rodeo Drive. And I'm going to work them up and down and put them away and make them feel used. I know these 85s are thinking I'm the biggest man they've had all week. And I'll be the biggest man they see next week. Alright, so yeah, but we're getting a pretty good chest pump going on. And you know, it's funny because you look at your kids and you see different aspects of yourself, you know. So Gage is pretty much built like me when I was like 15, so that's weird. But I was, of course, addicted to, oh, by the way, these are 90s, and I own these bitches. But next week, I don't think I don't know. I guess I'll look at the 90s, but I might trade up for a newer model called the 100s. But yeah, Gage has pretty decent calves for a guy who's, I think he's close to 6 foot tall, because he's about 2 inches taller than me. And I'm 5'9", so he's taller than his older brother too. But he has pretty much the exact same build as me just before I started training. and he has the same thick skin and metabolism that I had, where he can get fat, and I warn him of that, but he's lucky he's pretty active right now. Oh, damn. I'm rocking a 95s now. Yeah, this is like something from Animal Kingdom. It's not poetic, and it's not romantic. Okay, here we're finished up on our presses, and we're going to lead in with some flies now. And you notice we kind of hang and bang and rock and roll through this workout. When I work out with Gage, we do the 2 workouts a day on the weekend instead of doing 3 hours straight, and we kind of just rock and roll right through it. We don't sit and talk, or you know what I mean. We keep the intensity quick and fast, but we don't draw it out because we want to rip the muscle apart, but he's younger, so the long-term intensity doesn't work out as good with him. He is only 16, and it just seems to work out better to be hard and fast all the way through the workout. It's important to also know, if you are training somebody or training with somebody with less experience, that you've got to make it enjoyable. And if you draw out the workouts and you make it less enjoyable for the person, they're just not going to want to work out. If you make it so they can't, the next day get out of bed, which, it'll happen either way, but there's ways to go about it to make it fun and to make it something that the person actually enjoys. And that's what I try to do when I get my boys in the gym, is make it bonding time, but make them feel that they actually got something out of it too, that they can take home, And the training that they learn from me now will stick with them forever. And when they get older, they can train their sons. So it's kind of a third level thing, because my dad was a weightlifter, and he always had the weights around and stuff, and it's he didn't really teach me a whole lot of weightlifting. I kind of snuck a lot behind his back, but I did watch him all the time, to learn. But with my boys, I actually teach them, and I try to give them, the proper schooling for hypertrophy, which my dad really wasn't into hypertrophy. So different strokes for different folks and different generations too, Now people want to look good when they work out and not just have big chest and arms. They want to have big legs and calves too. So that's always been a focus, is precision and making everything fairly equal and copacetic. And speaking of equal and copacetic, I do feel like my calves, if you look at my calves, the decks just feel like they're growing, So I think that the fact that I'm actually specializing in my calves right now and my legs has really helped out with my physique. But of course, it's going to come down to stripping off all the fat again later to see how it really pans out. It's hard to see, and that's what separates the men from the mice, is the diet. Anybody can go in there and throw some weights around. Not anybody can make their body a work of art. When people talk about drugs or whatever, but, I don't buy into the whole, if you take drugs, you're going to look good crap. More often than not, a lot of people take drugs and they still look like shit. Those are the first people that call out drug abuse or whatever, because they're just jealous. because even with drugs, they still look like shit. And there's a lot of YouTube guys that are that exact example. And definitely for the right reasons, I wouldn't be opposed to TRT. I was actually talking to a guy at the gym who I won't mention his name or anything, but he was saying, you know, he's an older guy. He's got a good physique. He's like, what is it every couple years I notice, you know, I'm getting lighter and I'm still working out hard, and it's like you just don't have. And I'm like, dude, it's the legs, man. That's why I'm like specializing in legs now, because my legs are so much smaller than they were 5 years ago. He's like, yeah, me too. And then I'm like, as soon as I get fat, I got this, I got that. You know, we're comparing problems because we're old. And you know, first thing I said is, no, you could look into TRT, you know, but I guess that's kind of expensive. I don't know if insurance covers it or not. I just, you know, watch it on YouTube, and there's a lot of guys that are doing it, and I don't see anything wrong with TRT because, you know, as you get older, you're like, I guess after like 40 years old, you drop a percentage every year of your natural testosterone, something like that. So, yeah, if you want to be 65 and still training and stuff and look good, I guess you'd have to be on TRT, which is, just so you know, TRT is testosterone replacement therapy. It's actually offered by doctors for men that are not producing enough testosterone naturally. So, and they give you an adequate amount so that you could lead a productive lifestyle. And I definitely, you know, I even talked to my son this week about it. Maybe possibly as I get older, that's something that I would look into, depending on if my insurance would cover it. But yeah, so we switched over to the pec deck now, and you notice I'm doing my thing where I grab the top instead of the handles. I do try the handles once while we're doing this, and you can see the pain in my face. I am pushing, and yeah. Some of these go a little high rep. Pec decks and cables, it just seems like no matter how heavy I put it, by the next set I get used to it and I start repping it. I don't know if that's just me or everybody kind of gets that, where, you know, you put it on a weight and it feels too heavy, and then once you get used to that weight, you just can, all of a sudden you got extra steam to go for it. So here's where I grab the handles. Camera's going all over. I think there was a heavy girl knocking my son around on a pedal bike. He was kind of scared. I had to take him in the corner and give him a talking to, like, you can do it, bud. Don't be afraid of her. She won't eat you. You're not a Twinkie. All joking aside, I know I say a lot of crazy shit in these videos, and I give two fucks what people think, but this gym's pretty fucking cool about the recording of the videos. The owners were there today and stuff, and we were actually right beside them recording and stuff, so they didn't even bat an eye. And I actually had Dawn, one of the personal trainers, come up to me and talk to me. And oh, I did want to say, I finally bought the domain name for my website that I talked about a year ago that I made, and I've been working on my website, which is, you know, www.mypumpitup.com. So if you want to check that out, that'd be really cool. I'm going to be adding a lot of recipes and stuff that I actually eat, like, you know, the basic stuff that a bodybuilder would eat before he goes into workout, like, you know, the protein and oatmeal in the morning with Splenda. But then there's going to be low carb recipes I want to add in there too, because let's face it, that's how I get lean, and that's how I look so grainy compared to other people my age. Is I keep the carbs super low, and then when I get to a certain point, I kind of load up on carbs, and I just explode, you know. So that's kind of my thing. For like a good 2 weeks, I look like Superman. But then after a point of that, you start to get fat again, and then you gotta hit the diet. But yeah, so check out my site. It's mypumpitup.com, and yeah, I've got it for a few years now. Pretty proud of that. It's actually, I linked it to this YouTube now, and the AdSense and the AdWords and all that crap, and I actually got some more traffic because of it. So if people are wondering, how to get more traffic to their YouTube, one great way is to actually get a real website that can be crawled, and you have to go into your advanced settings and link it and prove you're the owner of the domain and stuff, and then have YouTube crawl it. So okay, so over here we're going on what I like to call the most muscular pulls of the cables. Herculers, I always say, would be from the ground up. Most musculars from the top down. Now, I'm sure these are just like cable crossovers where you don't cross over, but I like to call them most muscular pulls. And I'm always fucking right, even when I'm wrong, so that's just the bricklayer in me. You may notice that I switch legs in here when I'm doing these too. I do that on purpose. I'll do one leg forward and then I'll switch to the other leg, and then for the next one I might lean in with both legs even. I don't know why. But you can tell Gage is pretty spent. He's put his effort in here today, and he'll be sore tomorrow. But the good thing about my kids is they don't give up, and they're too proud to give up, which I like that. You know what I mean? That means there is a lot of me in them. I guess 50% technically, but we won't get into that. And these cable pulls are exactly what the doctor ordered for the end of a workout, and that's going to make 5 different exercises for the chest. And then, of course, we'll be going back for the afternoon workout after a few hours break. But in between, I'll be editing, obviously. And you can see I'm straining, I'm pushing. You know what I mean? It's not easy. It doesn't come in a jar, motherfuckers. It comes inside. Somewhere that only you know if you have what it takes. Man, pretty much only when you're alone do you know if you have what it takes. When you'll go to the gym by yourself every day, and when your buddies call and they say, hey, let's go out here, and you're like, no, I gotta hit the gym maybe in a few hours, and all your buddies make fun of you, but you're still gonna go, then you may have what it takes to get some serious muscle on your ass. But even if you don't, I'd rather die with my boots on than live on my knees, bitch. Which is just a really fucking cool way of saying I don't give up. And hopefully someday, this boy will be the same way. But whatever choices he makes, I'll be proud of him. Because that's what a good father is. Okay, so this is going to be our last set each. I'm going to do one, and then Gage is going to do one, and then we're going to be finish this workout. But on another note, I'm glad to be cleaning up my diet this week. Really, today's the first day that I've been watching my calories and macros again. And although I did cook the boys their chocolate protein pancakes this morning, I did not get to eat that. I did have my oatmeal and protein. But as you can see, I'm still working hard, just not looking hard. And this is Gage's last set, and of course he gets the music going to get into it. And yeah, all's good in the house of games. Oh yeah. This will be my last chance to talk real quick. I want to thank everybody who's watched the video so far and all those people that shared me on Facebook.
What's up, bitches? We're done this workout. Now we're gonna go hit fucking cardio. Man, you're too fucking tall. The fuck?